Okay, here we go. Let's get this train rolling, baby. Let's get this train rolling down the track here. You know anybody who makes fun of people who die? Let me give you my prediction. I predicted about Michael Fazio and it came true. Who do I think is next? Our friend Licky. Licky is not in good shape. He's definitely way over his body mass index. He drinks, eats like a sow, looks like a sow, and on high blood pressure medication, has to use a CPAC to go to bed. Well, play devil's advocate here, whatever you want to do, I don't know. Well, he's making fun. At least the last I seen on a show he did. He's kind of making fun of the fact that Michael Fazio died. Now, I expected that from Ricky, okay? And he will even produce a photograph, and I hope he really doesn't, or anybody else, because I think he will be attacked for a long time. Sure, there's people who would like to see photographs of that nature out of their own morbid curiosity. Guess they would. Doesn't make it right. I possess a photograph, but I am not going to put it on here. My prediction, Ricky Drama. I think he's next in line to be on a concrete slab in a morgue, a hospital morgue. How would you like your body to be displayed, Ricky, dead on a fucking hospital slab? Well, I'll tell you what, normally I didn't want to do a show going on the attack of anybody, but in this case, I think a lot of people will agree with me. Look, you didn't like Michael, he took you to court. Well, what did you do? He was, what, 67 at the time that you attacked him. That's what happened. You attacked a 67-year-old guy, defenseless guy, with medical problems, came behind him, not even in front of him, and you came behind this man, and you struck him. That's what you did. That's callous, and it's cowardice, no matter how you look. Ricky, you don't like Ricky, or whether you liked Fazio or you didn't like Fazio. Only cowards do what Ricky did. Only cowards. You got something wrong with you, Ricky, that's for damn sure. You may say things about Fazio and he had mental problems. I don't think many people could really argue that. Now, if anybody I felt was an enemy of mine, sure, Fazio was. Don't want to go into that again. But still, despite that knowledge, despite knowing what Fazio's done to me, I really don't think mocking the dead, mock them when they're alive, face them when they're alive, but not as a coward as Ricky did. Yeah, Ricky faced Fazio from behind. That's what he did. Now, I don't mean to go on the attack of you, Ricky, but you deserved this one, and you know it. That's the way you play. You didn't play up to Mick Fisher when Mick Fisher approached you, did you? Because you know you'd get your ass kicked by Mick Fisher. You know that, yeah. But mocking the dead, that's where I draw the line. Sure, I'm in possession of a photograph, and somebody sent it to me for the sole purpose, thinking I was going to distribute it, because I wasn't exactly happy with Michael Fazio, for the most part. I didn't do that, because I got some class. You don't have any class. I know you're looking to get the picture. I know that you're looking to post it. I know somebody will probably provide it to you, and I have no doubt whatsoever that you will post his picture. That is wrong. But then again, do you do anything that's right? No, you don't. You have no conscience. You have no feelings. You are a walking, talking zombie as far as your brain is concerned. You lash out at politicians like a fucking maniac. You have no conscience at all. The only way he gets women is to buy him phones and doing things like that. What does that say about him as a person? In all the Philippines, if you can't find a woman to be your real girlfriend, that you have to buy them, that says something right there. Yes, I am talking about Ricky, straightforward, because it needs to be said. I told you, I draw the line. Sure, I had problems with Michael Fazio, as everybody knows. He was not my favorite person. But I'm not mocking him. You haven't seen any shows of mine that I'm going on the attack of this guy. All I merely make mention is that he was not my favorite person. And he did some pretty shitty things in regards to me. But when somebody's dead, they're dead. They're gone. Leave them alone. Let them rest in peace. Don't mock somebody's, don't mock their death, okay? They're still humans, although some people on here are subhumans like Ricky. Maybe when you croak, and I think you're the next in line in my predictions, and my predictions are pretty good, maybe somebody will get a hold of your picture and put it on YouTube. How would you like that? How would you like that? A great gift. Maybe in your case, that would be a valid thing to do. To show reward the crap that you've done to people. Now, I'm not a Jordan fan either, but he did take advantage of Barry Jordan. Sorry, I mentioned his name. You took advantage of him, and you know that. You took advantage of all your viewers. 5-star lifestyle? Yeah, we've seen the dives that you stayed in. And what are you doing with all this, what, $8,000 a month or $9,000 a month? You spending it all on women? Really? And of all the Philippines, what is it, like 175 million Cebu alone? I don't know what the damn thing is, how many the population is. A pretty big population, all these women. That you have to buy these women? You have to buy them? It's that bad for you? Then when they have their fill of you, they dump you. Like Apple did and all the other women. They all dumped your ass. They got what they wanted off you. And then they said, I gotta draw the line. I mean, I like being treated to dinner. I like being taken around here and there. I like staying at the hotels. Not costing them any money. Sure, they're gonna go on that gravy train ride. If you were a desperate Filipino, wouldn't you? It's not because he's a swarthy, good-looking guy. It's not because this guy is anywhere we would call normal. It's because he's buying them phones, he's treating them to food and drink and everything else. And even one of the girlfriends he had in the past that smoked, he'd buy her cigarettes, he'd buy her everything. I think you've reached the lowest point in your life when you gotta buy women for company. That's what I think. Now, normally, lately, I didn't want to get on your case at all. But I was waiting for this to happen, and I knew it would. Just because Fazio had a case against you. Well, Fazio tried to have a case against me. He didn't win, but he still had a case against me once. And I know everything he did behind the scenes in regards to this Hawaii shit. But even knowing all that, experiencing all that, and wasn't happy with all that, I still am not going to mock his death. I'm not going to do it. Hi, Heminger. Back again. If Fazio could speak, I think he'd be proud of you, Frank, right now. Look, Fazio... Hello. Fazio was not... Let me get you a better spot here. Without question. And why? But even knowing that, if the man is dead, he's dead. Bury the problems with his death. Whatever he did to me, he paid the ultimate price. He's dead. I didn't kill him. He killed himself, but he's dead. Heminger says Fazio wasn't the most nicest person in the world, but he did have some good in him. Fazio had some good in him. Some. Okay. If you caught him in a few things now and then. All right, good sense of humor, you could say that. Good storyteller, that's for damn sure. So try to find the good in a person if there's any good. Some people just don't have any good in them at all. Won't go into name calling on here on that. They're just born mean. But Michael Fazio, no longer with us, ended. As far as people wanting to put photographs up, wrong. Heminger says, I don't think Fazio would have ever trashed someone after their death. Yeah, I don't think he would have either. He was a lot of things, but I don't think that Michael Fazio would have done that. I don't think so. I mean, I don't remember him ever doing that. I think even when Mike Kaysen died, another one, I don't think Fazio was involved in anything on that. I don't think so. To my recollection, I don't think so. But I'm just stating here publicly, and I heard a little bit of Ricky's show, Is Fazio Alive or Dead or something, whatever titlement of his show. And he was basically mocking Fazio. Ricky, you know something, man? In all honesty, I don't know how you live with yourself. You use people. You used me. You used Barry. You used him in a big way, didn't you? You had him kissing your ass recently on his show. Yeah, Barry was begging to his girlfriend. It's the only mention I'm going to make of him. It's the only mention I'm going to make of him. He did a video playing a love song to come back to him and how special he is and how special he thinks she is. How about if I told you that I still think they're not broken up? Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that. Brought some tears to my eyes. Yeah, it certainly did. Have I heard of a Fallout, New Vegas? I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe explain, stop talking cryptic. Somebody did on my last show, they're talking very cryptic. Make a full sentence and explain what you're talking about. Okay, sick grandpa. Again, Frank, I blocked you because you were saying crazy stuff on WhatsApp. I don't talk to you on WhatsApp. In fact, I'm going to get rid of you right now because I don't like what you were saying about Michael Fazio. I really don't. But maybe you're going to be on that slab, and maybe you're next on the list, Ricky. And the way you're going right now, and knowing a little about your lifestyle, knowing a little about your history medically, and you're on high blood pressure, and you do have numerous medicines you take, and you have to use a CPAP mask at night to sleep, knowing your diet, knowing your age, I can make another prediction, say that you are the next that's going to be on a slab in a hospital mortuary. How do you like that? Well, the way you're going, you're on your way. No, they don't have any class at all. They don't. Their time will come. You don't have to be in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or whatever. Anytime at all. Anytime at all. Maybe you just piss off the wrong person. Yeah, that could work too. You just piss off the wrong person at the right time. And you'll have yourself an early fucking grave. Shit happens, man. Shit happens. Mrs. Hemminger says, funny enough, Frank, I had a poll with some people yesterday about who would be next, and believe it or not, Licky was not what they voted. Mrs. Hemminger says, I won't tell you who voted, but you'd be shocked. It's some vets who are not on YouTube openly commenting. Well, look, I don't know the physical medical status of everybody, but I have a very good general idea of some well-known people on here that are not exactly living the healthiest lifestyle. Nevertheless to say, Nuno Beeswax, none of your beeswax, okay. It's a game about nuclear bombs being hit, and many years later you play as the guy from a fault. What does this have to do with the price of tea in China on my show, dude? Okay. Mrs. Hemminger says, Licky is who they voted. Oh, makes sense to me. Big Bill says, Frank, sick grandpa is crazy. Yeah, I already know that. I know the guy personally. I've met him. Mrs. Hemminger says, you read it wrong, Frank. Ricky is who they voted for. Oh, that's what you're saying. They voted for him to be the next. Nunya Beeswax says he'll get it soon. Vault. You know, Ricky, man, I tried to give you a chance in the past, and we welcomed you into our home here after eating all our Hungarian sausage. And I still hold that against you. Be glad that's all I'm going to hold against you, is your Hungarian sausage appetite. Me and the lovely Gilda, we treated you like a king. We treated you and your girlfriend at the time. We treated you with ultimate respect, dignity. But no, you ate all our Hungarian sausage. Everything else, Viagra, used on a regular basis, could damage the heart. I believe it could. I believe it could. A man who displays a bowl of Viagra, basically admitting that he has erectile dysfunction for real, not just some so-called phony made-up article about somebody else that supposedly has erectile dysfunction. Well, I'm not going to get into my sex life, but my girlfriend has no problem with me, and we do not use a blue pill. Nor would we display it even if I did, but I don't. And I'm not going to let you know, like Ricky, in the future if I ever needed such. And if I did, I probably would take it. But I don't need it. But the fact that he needs it, it says something about your overall general health. That's right. ED, erectile dysfunction, says something about your overall general health. I mean somebody who really has erectile dysfunction, not word of mouth or say, hey, this guy has erectile dysfunction. I read something where he was talking in an article. Yeah, an article that was made up by somebody. As I said, I'm not going to talk about my sex life, but there's nothing wrong with my sex life, nor am I going to talk about it on my fucking show. That's not going to happen. Let's just say that my lady is satisfied and I'm satisfied, and that's all you need to know. But yes, there is an indicator with heart and other functions if you have erectile dysfunction. It's usually also a result of some diabetic problems. I think he has all. Okay, Big Bill. Frank, the first video you did, talking about Michael Fazio, you did badmouth him. Wake up, I got it. No, I mentioned on that video, sir, that he was an adversary of mine and that he did a lot of shitty things to me. Was I being truthful or was I being dishonest? I was merely saying that I'm not going to shed any tears for the guy. I was merely saying that with all the shit that he did for me, it's basically, hey, rest in peace. That's all it was. He was not a personal friend of mine, would never be, and he did some things that I cannot and have never forgiven. However, sorry to disappoint you, I was not on the attack of the guy. In fact, I did the opposite, and I was actually commended by many people. Okay, Vincent Tuff says, hi Frank, first time catching you live, and I really don't follow you. It's okay, I'll buy that much. Just a simple question, how old was Fazio before he passed on? He's like 68 plus, 68-ish, because I'm 69. He was a little bit younger than me. Okay. Marvelous Mark, the king of the dark, says Fazio told you he never sent no flyers, he just knew who done it. No, he played an integral part on this. You just have to trust me on that. We don't need to go into it, but he did. Heminger says, I thought Popeye did a good memorial today of Fazio. Did he? Is that the show that Nico was on there? A good memorial? Weren't they lashing out at Fazio? I caught a little bit of a show that Popeye was on. I think Nico was on there. I don't remember them really lifting him high in the air. The thought of Fazio. It's not on anymore. They take it off, so I haven't seen it all apparently. But what I did see, I didn't see them really supporting him for what I've seen of it. It's under Popeye 1, O-N-E, Popeye 1, but he takes a lot of his shit off. Okay, maybe it was a separate show, I don't know. It was a Popeye live channel, okay. All right, perhaps I could check that out. Marvelous Marvin. Okay, but I know dang well that somebody is lying to you there. Batman done it. Here we go to Batman. It was done 3 hours ago. Okay, well, I don't know. I'll try to catch it if I have time to check it out or something. And yeah, Popeye can't afford to speak because he's the one that was... They're all guilty of something here. Popeye just mocks everybody. And of course, when Mike Cason died, he said the only way he's going to come out of a hospital is with a toe tag on his foot. So don't praise Popeye too much because the guy's a fucking scumbag. Lives in his daughter's house, beat the shit out of his Filipino wife that he picked up in Subic Bay when he was in the Navy. That's the story of that. Beat the shit out of her. She left him, and now he just lives on the laurels of something, his experience of living in the Philippines, being in the Navy 40 years ago. 40 fucking years ago. He thinks he's like in the Philippines, and he's an expert on everything to do with Philippines. No, he mocks everybody. Popeye is someone that is not very well high revered on here at all. He's part of the original hate crew gang with Allo de Winter and Popeye and Roberto and people of that nature. So Popeye cannot afford to speak, really. He mentioned about a private phone call he had with Fazio. Mrs. Hemmer says, I like Fazio better than Popeye. Mrs. Hemmer says, Fazio actually has some more integrity than him. I would have to say that much. To a point. Integrity, that's a big word. Describing anybody on here having integrity. That's like launching a missile, a wild missile, saying that statement. I don't know. I'm still get a little post-nasal drip here. But that's okay. I don't mind a post-nasal drip. Compared to what I had for a couple of weeks, it's gravy. No problem. No problem at all. Thank goodness for antibiotics. I don't like them, but god damn it, they do their job. Get the job done, as Kristen Sabu says. It gets the job done. Hemorrhage says Fazio was an asshole, but I do believe he had integrity. Okay, I read that part. Hello, people. We got 34 strong in here. Welcome back to my show. We're in the now. That's where we're at. We're in the now, and we're in the know. Knowing. And I've accumulated a lot of knowledge since I have been on YouTube, and I've figured out most people on here. And I probably know more about them than they actually think I know. It's like that ace in my back pocket. Let's just say that. Oh, that rebar builder was on oh, the rebar thing? Yeah, I just know where he'd come up with like $5,000 for that. Yeah. I think he was the kind of guy that would borrow something, pay for something on a lease or something. He'd get some things done with it, then he'd give it back or say there's something wrong with it. He would do things like that to get his money's worth, you know. He would fight with trike drivers and stuff over a couple of pesos. That's who he was. But no matter who he was and what he did to me, I was very reactive when somebody sent me that photograph of him. I don't like to see anybody dead on a slab. Unless it's in a movie or something and it's not real. But this is real shit. This is real shit. And it's not funny. It's not funny by any measure. By any measure. Now, there are some people out there that I think that don't even deserve to fucking live. There are some scumbags out there that have never contributed a goddamn thing to society. And all they do is go around mocking people, hurting women, taking money from people, and denying their accountability on everything that they do. Denying their accountability. Yeah, we got people like that out there. And I know for sure. We sure as hell do. But, as I said, I'm not going to go into that shit on my channel. Vincent Tuff says, okay, thanks for the answer. 67 is way too young. I think you could ask this question as you don't double speak. Does anyone have the cause of death? Well, it just really had to do going back a long time. And he had these horrible infections on his leg and foot. I mean, he displayed it on camera. These were deep craters, infected pustule craters, erupting like fucking volcanoes and lava. It was a horrible sight. He displayed it. And he never really took care of it, and I gave him the advice of getting hyperbaric treatment, even though he was my enemy. I didn't like the guy. I said the only thing that's going to help him, because if his body's if he's using antibiotics, he's not using a broad spectrum, or he's using the wrong antibiotics, or antibiotics just stopped working for him, that his only choice is to use hyperbaric treatment. I gave him good advice, even though he was my fucking enemy. I gave him good advice. Instead of telling people, yeah, great, he's on a slab, let's mock him and his death. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. Just like the photograph that was shared to me was meant for me to share it. They figured I was going to display it all over the YouTube, but I never did. Anyway, it was blood infection, sir. He had a big edema, whatever, on his foot too, most recently. That was hurting like hell. And it could have been blood clotting. I think what happened is probably like a sepsis. His infection in his blood spread through his body. Henceforth, he died. And this was very preventable, just to mention that. Since you don't know a lot of information about it, and you asked me, I'm giving you the long form answer. Everything was preventable. He didn't want to listen to anybody's advice. Nobody's advice. He did distilled water was the answer. And the fact that when he had his bad wounds on his leg, he would wrap it without airing it out, letting it breathe to heal. He would take common household boxing tape or something instead of spending on bandages and wrap some kind of a infectious tissue on the wound and then wrap it around with some household boxing tape. This is what he did. This is what he did. Wow. Yeah, he displayed it. It was horrible. It was horrible. Found it, Frank. Desecrating the dead is a prison offense in the Philippines. The senator said, under this proposed measure for the term desecrating the victim, shall refer to them raging or scoffing at the corpse. No, it wasn't even duct tape. You wouldn't spend the money on duct tape. Just some really paper-thin shit that he'd wrap around him. Whatever he happened to have. Look, I saw this coming years ago, and I publicly talked about it on my channel here. I talked about it. He wouldn't listen to me or anybody that was even close to him. Even his friend Jack Thompson died. He was obese. What is the common denominator we have here? Obesity. He would have died anyway. The infection was the icing on the cake for this guy. He didn't understand. He went to $2 doctors. He'd be alive right now, belching out all his tall tales and everything on his show right now. Talking about the flat earth and everything else, banging a pot to make a lot. But he can't no more. He's dead. He's gone. Gone forever. He will never be a problem to me. He will never be a problem to anybody else. However, I'm not going to go on here and mock him, his death, in a sense of ridiculing it, and not taking his death seriously. No matter who he was and how zany he was. Okay, no matter what he did to me or anybody else, and I can speak for myself, I really never wished death on Michael Fazio. No, I never did on him. I never did. Sometimes I found him humorous. There's sometimes I had belly laughs, even though the guy did so much crap to me. There were times he made me belly laugh. He did. Yeah, he managed to do that. There's some people I don't like on here, but they did some funny little video skits. There's people who have some talents on doing this stuff that made me laugh, even though I may not like these people. If they do something that's humorous and funny, I'm going to laugh at it, no matter who they are. I'm open and honest that way. I may have a lot of shit against somebody, but if they did something that's really funny, or if they did a really good show about something, well, they weren't mocking me or anybody else, they did a really good educational show about something that had a really good topic matter, I would give them kudos. When you do something good, you get praised for it. When you do something bad, you get attacked for it. We're both on our phones here. Hold on here. If I don't let her in, she's going to be barking the whole time. Okay, I hear you, sweetie. I hear you. Okay, come on. Where's your sister? All right, you would get in here too. Okay. You just gotta, you just gotta have some class. Have a little bit of class when somebody dies. That's why I told you, man. Something ever happened to me, I told Gilda. I told her, you don't say anything to anybody on the YouTube. Make them think I got off YouTube or something. I'm not going to announce, well, I can't announce if I'm dead, but I told her, I said, don't ever let anybody know if something happened to me. I mean anybody. And make a promise to me that you won't do that. And she won't do that. Okay, in-house Bill 959, collaborative district representative, blah, blah, blah. The right for human dignity extends to the right to dignity of dead bodies. You hear that, Ricky? You're committing a crime. I don't always go on camera, okay? That's to explain. I'm more of a podcast show than anything. I do go on camera a lot. But a lot of times I just don't feel like going on camera. It's sorry that I had a little bit of internet here. People sat around with their families and they listened to these old radio shows. Family came together. They were just concentrated on somebody's voice. They weren't distracted by anything else. I do videos where I'm walking around. I do videos on camera. I do all that stuff. I do it. According to what mood I'm in. Sorry if you know, it's according to where I go outside. And sometimes I don't have the best connection, so deal with that. Yeah. Filipinos are allowed to sue if they feel someone has defamed, even if it's not directly them. They do. You're right about that. You're right. I don't know why everybody's in such an attack on each other on here. I've questioned that for years. But I pretty much came up to the conclusion that they're not living the lives that they're trying to portray to you. I think there's a lot of loneliness, and I've talked about this 100 times or more. I think there's a lot of loneliness in their lives. They're not satisfied. They're living a miserable life, and they want everybody else to be miserable. But the one thing I could say about myself, and I can say this with a clear conscience, clear thought, and with total honesty, I think I'm predominantly very happy with my life. I think I'm happy with the choices that I made in my life and where I am right now. And if I should go tomorrow, I'll go with a smile on my face, because I've achieved pretty much in my later years of life. I've achieved pretty much what I wanted to do. And nobody, and I mean nobody, friend or enemy, can take that away from me. That just ain't going to happen. Okay, I have been summoned. Okay, whoever you are. Vincent says, Jonathan Card, it is dark. Come on, Frank, we need light. Let there be light. I'm not ready for that yet. I got dressed, but I'm just not, a gal's got to take care of herself, you know what I'm saying? I don't like going on camera and I'm looking at my best. So we went into this big soliloquy this morning. I did a show, and we were definitely talking about things like mortality and all that. You don't get these kind of discussions. I just really don't really hear a lot of this stuff on people's shows because they're too busy attacking people. They're too busy doing that. But going on YouTube can make you insane or it can keep you sane. It's according. It's a great outlet. It's a great outlet. I know there are people that listen to me that maybe used to be in my life that are not. I know they are, and I know who they are. I wouldn't be surprised if ex-girlfriends, family members, listen to me on a regular basis. I'm pretty sure of it, actually. Can't get enough of me. Do you support the IGB? What is that? I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. Mrs. Eminger says, all this time you let a career brew in front of your eyes. Frank, his name was Licky. Please do the thug shake. What is the thug shake? You guys have been very cryptic lately. You notice I mentioned that in my earlier show? Very cryptic in what you write on here. Spend the time to put a full sentence together and explain what the hell you're talking about. That might actually help me, answer your questions. Make somewhere where I'm not going to have to worry about my connections too bad here. I got the worst internet. Believe me when I tell you, the worst internet in the Philippines. I really do. Okay, I want to get comfortable somewhere, but she's talking to her family, whatever, on her phone in the bedroom. Maybe I could just go in the living room here or something. Dogs want to go in there anyway. So, join me. Okay, girls, you want to come in here with your daddy? Okay. There's the cashews. Okay, I came to the right place. What is all this shit on the table? You ever have any flat surface in your house and it just gets covered with shit? And what do they have? Candy wrappers here? Which brought a couple of ants. Not a couple. What the fuck? Ants. You're never going to get rid of them. You're never going to get rid of them. Here I am. You're never going to get rid of them. Ants. Okay. They never learn. Oh, let me grab a couple of cashews. I need that special kind of fat. Beneficial for your HDLs. This shit is expensive, let me tell you. Okay. Where was I? Sorry. Okay. My other channel? Is this Bill from Washington State, by the way? Another channel basically expired. What I did was actually something I did once before. Dylan puts the channel on high because maybe he just had enough of YouTube. He said, fuck it, I'm just going to take my shit off. So what happened was, like I do a lot of times, I hit the wrong button. I have not been able to find my channel. It's out there in the cloud somewhere. At 17,000 subs. Okay. Too goofy for this shit. That should be TOO. Okay. To passe. That's my sister's name. And she is in the hospital with a brain tumor. Well, if you really have a sister in the hospital with a brain tumor. Hello, passe. How are you? Como está? Ms. Henry says I can't hit the super chat button. It don't exist. Well, If I get it, I get it. You got to get the watch hours in again. So that's just the way it works, man. Talk about how I'm chewing. I can't help it if my microphone has a very good sensitivity. God, I got to at least turn this damn fan on. I put you ahead of Big Kevin. Well, gee, it goes without saying. Okay, that's better. At least have a fan on in here. I try not to use the air conditioner as much. It just dries out my sinuses. Hold on. These are a habit for me. Just a few more cashews. A handful of nuts per day is very beneficial, by the way. Razorback is playing games. I don't know where you guys come from. I don't know. I'm not near a clock. I don't know what time it is. I know I'm alive. I don't always look at the time. Unless it's dinner time or lunchtime or something. You must have gone viral, Frank. Well, why do you say that? How did I go viral? Let's see. I gotta read these comments. How did I go viral? Oh, lots of newbies. I don't think they're newbies. Personally, I think there's just people under their soccer accounts. Do you want to know the truth? Maybe a few of them. But I just think there's some people under some soccer accounts, that's all. I know, bizarre comments in here. I'll let them ride. Let's see. We are, I'm not sure when. Oh, never mind. I don't want to get into that. Too personal. Something I gotta do. I'm a newbie first time. Don't forget to subscribe, my friends. Aaron, you could ask a question. According to what it is, well, I'm going to answer it. But go ahead. Hemminger says, I remember when Fazio said he's going to get a helicopter pad to fly airplanes again. But that was funny. What that guy would do for attention was amazing. He did all of that stuff. The amazing Michael Fazio. He also said he spent a few years in a Buddhist temple. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Aaron says, has anyone ever thrown a molten hot honey bun at you? Not lately. Has anybody ever done that to you? Subbed and hit the thumbs up button. Got some weird people coming in here, man. God, put these goddamn nuts away. Jesus Christ. Come on. I love cashews. Put my time in on the treadmill this morning. Always feel better when I do that. You're a gremlin. Well, thanks for sharing that. Clint says that Brevis is a strange fruit, to say the least. Yeah, you got that right. Hemminger says, IMO, not paying Social Security, is really the most truthful way to admit the reality of Fazio's life. He was just a day laborer. Yeah, he was. The Last Standing says I sub. Fantastic. Welcome to my world. You might find this an interesting channel because it's kind of an eclectic mix of just about every goddamn thing you can think of. I talk about whatever's on my mind. I try to talk as honestly as I can. I never had anything to hide from anybody on here. And anybody's ever attacked me, they all ate crow at the end, every single one of them. To this day, they're eating crow still. That's why I think crow is going to be on the extinct species list before you know it. The last standing, twinkle, twinkle, little star. My brain just hit by a car. Where are you people coming from? Grandmas are hot. What do you think is going on here, Miss Heminger? We got the loons coming out here. Well, nothing new about that on YouTube, but certainly today. Cookie Bev. The Thug Shake. What is the Thug Shake? I don't get it. You mentioned that before. I think you went viral, Frank. The Last Standing. I'll tell you what's hot. The Last Standing says. DeMarcus says, grandmas are hot. Are they? Maybe some grandmas. Hey, my girlfriend's a grandmother. I think she's pretty hot. What is the Thug Shake? I still don't know what that is. Hamish, what is a Thug Shake? Hamish says, Frank, you could buy an airplane and have it on standby in your backyard if you really want an airplane on call. I couldn't fit an airplane in my yard. I told my girlfriend I love you, and she said it back. Well, good for you. Isn't it nice to be loved? A lot of people out here are not very loved. The last thing he says, the effing stove, when you put your hand on it and it's hot. Is that the Thug Shake? You guys are weirding out on me, man. Oh, the Thug Shake is when you shake your butt? I've already done that on camera. I actually did, haven't you? Well, no, not a plot of land. We've got a service thing, both of us, really, that we have to start making payments on. I don't want to burden her. With money I got to leave her, I want her to have it all. And not have to go into her own money. It's for both of us. You got to think ahead. We all have an expiration date. You might not think you do, but believe me, there's a gravestone or something with your name on it right now. You just don't know about it. Okay, you could fit in a helicopter. Who, me? Of course. Just not his wires around there. Not his wires. You don't have to get a full-size helicopter. Why would I want that? I've been in 2 helicopters in my life. One in Hawaii over the volcano, and I've been one over here, Battaglia, going to Cebu. 2 helicopters, that was enough. I don't trust them, because when their motor goes out or something, you're going down like a rock. That's it. Walking around, I banged my head in the side of the table. I had to get stitches. Now I'm stupid. To that day. Well, you admit to your stupidity, I have to give you credit to that. Yeah, they got helicopters here. Paisley loves grandmas. Well, there's some people who have foot fetishes too. I don't know that, Miss Heminger. I really don't know. I know they used to have something. I don't really know. I mean, that would be a good thing to find out. Call the airport and get some numbers. Maybe Juan's Air Service, Juans, possibly. But they used to service this little tiny airport here. I don't know. I tell you what, we took a helicopter ride. We thought it was going to be a plane that time. The plane wasn't available, but a helicopter came in. We had some other people come that need to go to Cebu. And what a great ride. I mean, you didn't even know you were in a helicopter. It was very, very new. The inside was very comfortable, big windows. It didn't fly real high because you'd be able to see everything. And God damn it, in less than 40 minutes from where I live, we were in Cebu at the airport. Amazing ride. It was amazing. Yeah, I think you probably could if you got the right information. And what they really do, Heminger, is if it's a helicopter, it's either a hospital has a heliport on top of it, or there's one hospital somewhere that there's like an old field that they could land in, and then an ambulance would pick you up from there and bring you to the hospital. Something to that. 29. Come on, how about the thumbs up, folks? You're loving me that much? You don't want to give me the thumbs up, huh? What are you, wise guys? Being wise guys today? Let's get those thumbs up here. Be loud and proud on my show. Show that you care. Show that you care. Get those numbers up. We're not asking for money here. We're not even monetized. But a simple thumbs up could do wonders. I see peanuts in the back. Oh, peekaboo. You may see my little tootsies too. That got me in trouble once. They thought I was doing something that I actually wasn't doing. They use that to this day. Let's see. Frank, do you miss New York? No. I miss the memories growing up there. But New York's an expensive place to go visit. It really is. It's a long way flight from where I live here. I don't like long flights like that. Hemorrhage says I looked into a private jet in the U.S., so I estimate chartering a helicopter would cost maybe $1,000 to Cebu City. Yeah, maybe. No. Oh, to charter one from here. Right now, they have chartered flights on airplanes here, small planes. 30,000 pesos from here to Cebu. They don't have the commercial liners in here yet. They're only going to be able to take 60 passengers. That's the type of plane. However, you would have to... I mean, I'm not going to pay 30,000 pesos to go from here to Cebu. But if we had to, in an emergency, I'd tell Gil that, or for me, for her, we'll do it. I'm not going to worry about the money. Money is replaceable. At least it is for me. Can't speak for everybody else, but money means nothing if you have an emergency. You take care of business, man. You do what you need to do. Yeah. I think 30,000 pesos. Let me explain. They built up this airport, and right what they know they got going there right now? Skydiving. It's like they own the damn airport. They have chartered flights, I understand, that come in. They're supposed to be having commercial flights. Probably prop planes, not jets, that could handle 60 people. They already extended the runway, but now they're talking more to the governor about extending the runway more. I thought they were ready for this. They were supposed to have been ready for this a couple of months back, and more than that. That you would be able to get people who want to come here to this island from Manila, which is it's a drag for these people. You know what they got to do from Manila, another place, to get here? They got to get into Cebu, and they got to get on a series bus or a grabbed cab, right, from Cebu, and have to travel 3.5, 4 hours from Cebu to get to Hagnaya Point, which is San Romeo, to take an 1.5-hour ferry. With the plane, they won't have to do that. 35 minutes at best, I think. Okay? That's the whole idea. But now they're saying they need to extend the runways more. And they were supposed to have done this in January of having flights, and they still haven't done it. So your ass is grass when you live here in an emergency. I'm going to be honest with you. Unless you could charter a flight, and hopefully it isn't too late. And you're going to have to hire a nurse to watch over you, or somebody to take the flight with you. Okay. You have to pay for them. They'll get somebody from the hospital. I guess the first step is you wind up in a hospital. You'll tell them I want a flight, if you're able to talk, to the hospital in Cebu. And they'll get a nurse that'll come with you, a watcher, on the flight. You could bring your wife, girlfriend, whatever. And they'll be with you for the flight. You'll have to pay for their time and probably pay for a place to stay for a night at least in Cebu. Okay, that's kind of how it works. So I hope that answers your question on that. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. But we hope to. Revelations do happen. I feel a lot better. I don't mind paying the money to take a flight. I mean, look at how much I pay. You want to know what I pay to go to Cebu? Okay, Frank, you never know when an emergency comes in, so I would have a plan of action on the plane, charter things ready. Yeah, I know what you mean, Hemi. I know what you mean, I do. I pay, first of all, I don't know what it is. What is it for the ferry? See, me and Gilda might amount to 500 or so pesos. Take the ferry, hour and a half, get to San Romeo, which is actually Hagnaya Port. From there, we always choose to take this one guy, Michael, who's our Grab driver. And that cost us 3,500 pesos one way. So round trip will be 7,000 pesos, but we also treat him to either breakfast or lunch, whatever the case may be. He allows us to make stops on the way. I want to smoke. I want to stretch my back. I want to stop, get something to eat. Stop at SNR. He'll wait for us. All right. Then from there, any other transportation that while you're in Cebu, and we take taxi cabs everywhere. We don't go on jeepneys. We take taxi cabs. We spend a lot of money on our transportation cost. A hell of a lot of money. Do I like WWE? No, I don't like phony wrestling. If you're talking about wrestling, I'm into the mixed martial arts type of sport. That's what I like to watch, if I could find it. BOGO? It's no better than what I call a triage. You know, we have in Bantayan. It's not much better. You're still going to have to go to a better hospital even if you're taking a BOGO. It's an alternative, but yeah, I don't think they're set up in BOGO, and I'll check into that, but I know they're not. I don't think so. Ventures of Johnny Warrior is back. I generally take a Ro-Ro from Rubicon to Cebu. Now, about 3,400 pesos one way for me and the family. What is a Ro-Ro? Can you explain that to me? Maybe I don't know the terminology. What's a Ro-Ro, Johnny? Okay, for me and the family in 2-hour boat. Oh, a boat ride from Rubicon to Cebu. Okay. You're back, Paisley. We're glad you're back. Vincent Tuff says, I was going to ask about what part of the USA do you hail from originally, and where do you land? I originally from New York, then lived in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State for 26 years, and then Hawaii for about 14 years, and now about 8 years out here. Oh, roll on, roll off. Okay, gotcha. With the car. I don't have a car because I don't want to drive. I miss driving though, but not out here. And at my age, I don't really want a car. Look, let me tell you something. You got to be protective of yourself to a certain point out here. I don't need any accidents if you drive out here, especially if you drive a motorcycle. You're guaranteed to have at least one accident. And I'm sorry, but I can't afford to have even one accident. I don't want to be laid up in a hospital bed or crippled or worse. I am in my late 60s, so, you know, I think about that kind of stuff ahead of time. That's why I'm not going to do anything stupid, you know, that might be extraordinarily dangerous. I don't want to go that route. Because anything that could happen will happen. I believe that. Blind faith, whatever. Well, if you just came in, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Johnny says, believe it or not, driving in Cebu is better than driving in Bohol. Crazy crap here in Bohol. I heard something. No, somebody said the opposite of that. I know somebody that's going to Bohol this weekend. He says that the traffic is a lot better there. I don't know. I'm not comfortable. I'd hire a driver. If I owned a car I'd use it for local driving around here. And I'm even skeptical of that because I see what happens on my little island I live on. Okay, I was in. I just gotten back from Cebu recently, and I was at SNR, and right on the corner there was a motorcycle accident. And a half hour before that, there was another motorcycle accident. I said, "No, there's no way you're getting me on a bike. I'm not going to get on a bike. I just don't want to do that. I got a good trike driver that comes to my door, picks us up, drops us off anywhere we want to go, brings us to the ferry. I'm good with it. I had a lot of years of driving behind my belt. And I tell you what, I had a couple of accidents too that could have been really bad. Really could have been bad. I'm a very good defensive driver. I wouldn't be talking to you right now if I wasn't. I've avoided a few accidents that could have crippled me for life or killed me. I've made a couple of dumb mistakes too, but I came out of it okay, thank goodness. And nobody ever really got hurt in any accident I've ever been in. I think I might have strained my wrist. I T-boned a van once, and it was my fault. And I had a near accident that would have been disastrous. It was on 15th Avenue Northwest in Ballard area of Seattle. It was at night coming back from my girlfriend's place. I don't know why I was heading the other side of that road. I should have been turning. It's an intersection. It's a thoroughfare, And there was this car that was speeding down that road. Probably about a good, well, certainly at least 50 or 55 on that road. So I decided to cross the road. That split second, we almost hit. It was a split second. And holy shit was I relieved after that. Either I would have T-boned him or he would have T-boned me. But at the speed he was going, either one of us would not be in very good shape. Not at all. I got lucky, but not everybody gets lucky. I got hit by a car when I was 7 on Ash Wednesday. I'll never forget that. I had ashes on my head, being a good little Catholic boy. Fractured my right foot. And sometimes you can see that when I walk. It has affected me. You don't always see it, but sometimes you do. Because I had a fractured foot. It was pretty splintered. It healed. I walk pretty good, but sometimes you'll notice when I walk, and sometimes you might see that because I put a lot of pressure on that foot. I think I use my right leg more heavily than I use my left. Yeah. What are these guys talking about? I'm going to have to do something here because this is some ridiculous conversations going on here. I don't mean to do this to you boys, but there's a lot of ridiculous banter going on here. Okay, what did you want to know? Vincent, do you rent or have a property there, Frank? Sorry, stupid question, however, I'm a newbie. No, we own a house here. About 12-minute walk from some white beaches. Kind of a good situation. It's a nice size house. Which, of course, is going to be hers. It's basically hers. Let's face the fact. But that's her reward for being the great person that she is. Taking good care of me, loving me, and being there in my life. That's what it's all about, man. If you got a good one, you got a good one. Take care of her, man. Hemorrhage says was thinking in general to do a show about, I'm going to be on camera, Jesus Christ, about VA moochers like Phony Warrior. And come on, let's not get into that. Look, Johnny Warrior is not a big fan of mine, but he came on my show, and he's willing to contribute on here. And I'm not jumping on his case, and I'm not removing Johnny Warrior. I may not be his favorite person. He said a lot of bad things about me, but I'm not attacking Johnny Warrior. So let's not do it on here. He was nice enough to come on my channel and make comments. He wasn't yelling at me or calling me names or anything like that. Anybody's welcome on here. If they want to come on this show and they want to talk and they want to actually become part of the show and have something to really rap about, you're welcome to come on the show. But let's not get into that shit. It's not necessary, man. It really isn't. I like to do shows and have a good time doing it. If I'm home and I'm not doing anything, I'll put a show on. And I'm a good ad-libber and I can talk about just about anything on here. I don't mind. I'm a talker. Henceforth, next to New Yorker and all this shit. I'm a talker. That's just what it is. I don't put any shame about it. There's nothing shame about it. If I say, I'm just a person who has a lot to say and doesn't mind saying it. And sometimes I might offend a few people on what I say, but at least I'm being honest. At least I'm being honest on what I say, rather than just saying something just to be hellish to somebody. I'll tell it like it is. And that's what I do. And you could be offended by some things I say, but the big difference is it the truth or is it not the truth? That's the big difference. Okay, is there a way you could have him come on your show to talk? I'm not on a StreamYard. I haven't tried it on this phone yet, StreamYards. Big Daddy Avocado Bro. I have many political inquiries to discuss. We don't do politics on here. Sound like my grandpa. That's not nice to say. Bye-bye. See, you don't get upset here. Just say bye-bye. Veggies Johnny Warrior says, Mrs. Heminger, I have a retirement. 26-year military retirement. I did my time. I guess an idiot would think a pension is mooching. I don't get the VA and pension split until 65. Well, tell it like it is, Johnny. You can do that on my show. You're more than welcome. As long as you're not attacking me, that's okay. You guys could iron that out. You're doing gossip is what you're doing, Hemorrhager. Yes, of course you are, but that's what Hemorrhager does. Look, I've never met Johnny Warrior, okay? I don't know what he's personally like, sitting down at a table with him. I heard a lot of shit about him in the past, and the hate channel was attacking him left and right. And they went into his family. I didn't appreciate that. Whether Johnny Warrior likes me or not, I don't like what they did to him in the past, and they were going after his family, wife, I mean, everything. They just went all out on this guy. And I don't think Johnny Warrior deserved that. Whether I met the guy or not, and whether the guy likes me or not, I don't think he deserved that shit. Come on, Heminger. You gotta start trouble on every show you're on. I mean, seriously? Seriously? Come on, come in peace on my show. I'm allowing you on here because you're not attacking me. It's not that you've never attacked me before. You certainly have. You guys, I know where this is going. Anyway, I started the show. Basically, it came to this. Talking about how Ricky is really just, I don't know if it's the right word, desecrating whatever the memory of Michael Fazio. Not my favorite person. Certainly not. But the guy's dead, leave him alone. If there's such thing as resting in peace, let him rest in peace. I'm getting all these comments. You sound like you're a narrator in a movie. I keep on hearing this shit. I'm half deaf too, actually, technically. People saying I have a good voice and narrating voice. You should do radio, all this other shit. Well, I'm doing radio right now, kind of, because I'm on camera. But that's pretty amazing with having half my right ear, more than half gone in my right ear. You got to be able to hear yourself to talk. I guess I managed a way around it, I guess. They are clueless, Johnny Warrior said. You don't have any animosity to any of these trolls. And what is... Hemorrhager says, Oklahoma National Guard medical officer is a military analyst and hero, LOL. Sound like the dude from Taken. The Adventure Johnny Warrior is laughing at what Hemorrhager had to say. Fear the rebar. My ear still hurts. Funny stuff. Hemorrhager says, I know Special Forces Rangers and Delta Force guys who wouldn't call themselves warrior. A nasty guard clown doing it is hilarious. Just me, though. All right, you have an opinion. The Scooter Fund Warrior. Adventures Young Warrior. Mrs. Hemorrhager, you don't Don't anyone, man, whatever. All right, let's stop bickering on here, man, okay? I'm not going to be on that much longer anyway here, okay? I need to get the fuck out of the house here. Take care of some shit. I just want to finish it off by kind of finishing off what I started to say on here. As such, when a man dies, leave him with that dignity of his death, whatever. Just, you know, if I see photographs going out of Michael Fazio on his deathbed, I'm going to be pretty pissed. I think Ricky is next to pass. To be honest with you, you may not think I analyze people on here, but I actually do. I know what they eat by their own demonstration. If they're obese, we know that. If we put two and two together, they're on high blood pressure medication, probably on diabetes meds. Okay? And they've been obese for a good part of their life. There's a good chance. There's a better than good chance. Just like Michael Fazio. It wasn't just it was ultimately a blood infection that killed him. But he would have went anyway. It was just a matter of time with him. Crazy diets he went on, eating as much pork as he does. He still smoked. He said he stopped smoking, but he does. You go to this place to her, the steps, somebody sees all these cigarette butts and those little steps that leads to his shack. He drank too. He had lots of bottles in there. See, the alarm's going off. I must be right. Let's go listen to this alarm. That happened the day that Fazio died. This alarm went off. Listen to this. This is real. I'm not doing this. Wow. Is that a sign of things to come? Holy shite. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a mathematic genius or a doctor or anything. There's my water came in. To just figure out somebody's lifestyle and make a pretty wild guess. It's better than a wild guess. To come to a conclusion that as far as what we call longevity, that you probably have a lot lesser chance of longevity compared to other people who try to do at least a few reasonable things to help their life out by at least doing a little bit of exercise every day, taking supplements, eating some good vegetables, trying not to eat the skin on the chickens, trying not to eat a lot of pork, using butter every single day. You could eat butter. You could also have eggs. That's fine. You just don't overdo it, but you could have that every single day. Every single day you could have that. That's not a problem. It's a nuclear missile. One day, might be, man. Don't fear the reaper. I don't know all the words to that song. That's me. I'm a one-liner with songs. I'm a one-liner. I cannot recite a whole song except, Joe Cocker's You're So Beautiful. Because there really wasn't much lyrics in there. And I still probably don't know all of it. But you people are beautiful to me. You know that. Blue Oyster Cult, baby. Don't fear the reaper. Mrs. Hemminger says, look at the big picture, man. We are alive. We're lucky to be alive. We are, man. Poor Fazio can't get one more second on this earth. He can't do another show again. He can't boast about things that he never did. Long-winded, big tales, stories about how grand his life was or is. He was a sad man. Now, we're not knocking him. There's a big difference here. We're talking about him. About his real life situation. He was very lonely. He needed all the attention he could get, and he'll talk on the phone for hours with somebody. Even somebody pretended that they give a shit about him. It didn't matter. He would join forces with other people just for the attention, and he would do some really dastardly stuff when he really wanted to, against other people to gain friendship with others. He has paid the ultimate price. JW, I know that's you. I recognize you. The typing style. I agree with you, Mrs. Hemminger. We have yet another day. That's true. How goddamn precious fucking life is. And you're going to notice, man, and I don't know what the age of everybody is out there, but I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you straight. You do start thinking about your mortality and you hit your 60s. There's no doubt about that. A lot of people I know in my personal life, You know, they sometimes talk about stuff like that. Oh man, I'm kind of getting worried, man. I'm really starting to get old. I mean, I'm listening to all this shit stuff happening to other people, and I don't want that shit happening to me. Well, it's going to happen to you whether you like it or not. It was sometime in your life. There's a starting point in life and there's an ending point in life, just like there's an expiration on a can of food. Everything expires. We can't get away with that. We have not reached a point medically in any other way in life that we're extending anybody's life by any long measures. Science and medicine has not come together with that, but they are working with genetics, with genomes and every damn thing to extend people's lives. Now, you probably wouldn't be the first to get it. They don't want to extend your life, first of all. Maybe they'll do it for dignitaries or somebody who has enough money to pay for this shit. And I'm sure maybe there's something out there even now that will help even cancer patients. But the government is not going to put that out to the general public. They're just not going to do that. Well, the frozen stuff, the cryogenics, they don't work. They don't work. The technology with that is that you can't bring a body back with the technology they started with cryogenics. Maybe it's more advanced now, but those bodies can't be brought back. My understanding on that, they can't be brought back. They can't be brought back. But life is short, man. And you got to appreciate what you got going on in your life. If it's anything good and worthwhile, just enjoy it, because enjoyment could be anything, man. You don't have to be, going on big, elaborate trips. You don't have to be, I don't know, whatever turns you on. You could be just happy with someone that's at by your side that loves and gives a shit about you. We don't have anybody to love you or to love back. That's sad. Fazio didn't have that. Fazio, unfortunately, and that's the part that I felt sorry for him, if you want honesty, that he had nobody, and Daisy May was not his girlfriend. Although he tried to display her as if she was, but she was not his girlfriend. But it made him feel good to have her by his side when she was actually staying there with him. Now, frozen bodies these days can't be revived. There are certain species of animals and shit that could be frozen. They come back after the frost, but not humans yet. They haven't. All these people that were spending, and by the way, it's monthly or yearly. People that are in cryogenics, their family or whatever is still paying for that. Or what happens at the plant where these cryogenics are, if the power goes down, you're fucked no matter what, right? Frank, you could be the Dr. Phil of the Philippines. Shame you and Fazio didn't hash out your differences. Well, I tried. I actually made an effort. If you listen to me enough, you'll know that I did. I'm not a bad person like that. I'm really not. When somebody treats me good and treats me with respect, I guarantee you that you get it back. But I'm old-fashioned with that kind of shit with respect, and you don't show it to me, I will not give it back to you. Okay? I'm not trying to save face or anything or do any shit like that. I tell it like it is, and some people don't like to hear the truth. And it bothers them. I hurt their feelings, perhaps. Yeah. Johnny Warrior is putting out word of all G2 slots would be okay for... I don't know what the hell he just had to say. Hey, look, the way it is I see it here on YouTube, there's going to be people that like it and people that don't. If you treat each other with respect, you don't have to get into these tangents. You don't have to get into all this bullshit on there. People have the choice to watch your show, or they don't want to watch it. Anyway, the numbers are going down because of the time of day. It's about that time to get off. I did do another show this morning, so I'm kind of on overdrive, overload right now with the live streams. Happy to be home. I'm able to do this shit. I don't mind. Sometimes when Gilda's busy talking to her family on the phone, I'll take advantage of doing a show on here if I have something to say, or even if I don't have anything to say. We always wind up with a good topic on here. I'm not on here. I want to make something clear to everybody. I'm not on here to attack people. Okay? Have I ever been? Sure. I've been attacked viciously, and I've defended myself on these attacks. And that's all it's ever really been. I didn't get up in the morning and decide, who am I going to attack today? I've never done that. I would respond to something somebody would say, and maybe they didn't like hearing the truth about themselves, and they got butt hurt, but, you know, that's their gig. I got to go. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Our subscribership is going up a little bit. I appreciate that. Please don't forget to subscribe to my show. Don't hurt. There's always something to listen to on my show. I can at least say that much about myself. I'm not going to reveal too much about myself in the future, unless I feel it's necessary to talk about on any angle, legal things, anything. I could talk about a great event in the family, sure. I could celebrating a birthday or something, or anniversary, which I just did. I don't mind celebrating. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's nothing to hide. I could talk about that shit, but I'm really not going to get into any legal mumbo jumbo on this channel anymore. You need to find out something about something going on, you maybe ask another person. Gay? Hardly. Hardly. No, I'm not. But thank you for asking. That I'm not. Let's see, Frank, if you happen to be going to see Boo City soon, you could side stroll to Bohol. I don't know. I kind of have no interest in Bohol. I don't know if I'm just scarred from Fazio. I've been to Bohol. I've been to a hearing with Fazio once with the NBI. And what was that? Tagbilaran. I've been to Tagbilaran. That's the only place I've been. And I have an acquaintance that's going to be making a trip to Bohol. He wants to see the Tasman monkeys. He wants to see the chocolate hills. I'm thinking, I mean, I love animals, but, you know, the chocolate hills, I don't want to see a bunch of lumps in the ground. I lived in Hawaii. I've seen some incredible cinder cones. That's worth looking at, because they were geographically something really interesting to look at. Some of them had caves in them. But the chocolate hills, from what I've seen on videos, I think I actually flew over Bohol once. Maybe I was in that copter. I don't know where I was. I've seen them. Nothing exciting about that at all. I like going to the mountains. It's a change. Tarsiers, thank you. Got the name. I'm usually better than that when it comes to animals. I've seen the chocolate hills. It's interesting, but you're not missing. I know I'm not. That's why, even when I went to Frank, how were those pine needles? Oh, I love the pine trees in Baguio. It kind of brought me back to the Northwest. It really did. I loved being around the pine trees. I love pine trees. And I'm always around evergreens. So certainly when I was in the Seattle area, Pacific Northwest. By the way, it's just a beautiful place. If you've ever been to Pacific Northwest, like Washington State, they got some beautiful glacier lakes up there in the mountains. It's just gorgeous. I mean, you got to see the color of the water juxtaposed against the glacier, the mountains, and the water is so clear you can see the fish swimming around underneath the shallows. Just beautiful, man. Just fucking beautiful. If I'd have moved anywhere, Washington State would have been still a place to stay. If I moved out of the city of Seattle, I was in the suburbs anyway. I wasn't in Seattle city proper. I was north of the city. But the trips I made into the mountains, man, I could certainly see myself living near a beautiful lake like that. Man, they had a lot of places I went to, and they had these cabins, really nice little houses, right on the lake. They were like these small lakes. It wasn't always the real big lakes, the big glacier lakes, but I've been to a lot of lakes out there that were really small. Enough to, you know, you could probably do a little bit of motorboating in there, just these small things, you know, fishing. But it's just this scene was so, with the pine trees surrounding the cabins and the fireplace you have for the cold, damp air or the winter months. What a great atmosphere that was. What a great environment. I do like the mountains, okay, and I like the what you call the what's the word? Anyway, pine forest, okay, but the alpine. I like alpine regions, you know, with beautiful lakes that reflect the mountainside. It's so peaceful. So I've got to experience. I may not have been around the world and all this shit, but I have been to some nice places. Yeah. Mountains are better than beach. A beach is just water. Whoopie-doo. Mountains have way more. What they do, actually. Although I love being in the water, though. It's kind of a trade-off here, but I've never seen the fascination of a beach. But I love the ocean. Especially if it has waves. I love looking at waves. There's not no waves around here, you know. But the mountains are really interesting. And that would have been an alternative for me if I didn't buy this house over here. I still could do that. I'm not dead yet, but I'm comfortable where I am. I'm well protected. I am in a nice spot. I'm not on a swamp. That's funny. And I have a 12-minute walk to the beach. Okay, I do got to go. I've been procrastinating here a little bit because you're asking me questions. I got to get off and spend some time with my lady. Since she's off her phone with her relatives, now's a good time. I do appreciate you subbing to my channel. I appreciate you coming in and joining in my conversations. It's like getting back to old times again, getting my channel back in order and not getting into all this troll shit. And I'll leave off by saying, rest well, Michael Fazio. Rest in peace. And Ricky, leave him the fuck alone. You're a scumbag, you know that? You really are a scumbag. You're next on the list, I hate to say that. Judging by what I know about you, maybe we'll see your picture on a slab in a morgue in a hospital someday. Would you like that, Ricky? I don't think you would. Just don't wish that on anybody else. Don't ever post a picture of Michael Fazio's dead body. I know there are ways of getting a hold of him. I understand that. And I'm one of them. I've got a photo. But I'm not going to share it with anyone. Only one I showed it to was my girlfriend. That's it. It's not going anywhere for any price. Respect somebody if they paid the ultimate price, which is death. Fazio paid the ultimate price. He's never going to be a problem to me anymore or anybody else. I'll leave it at that. Not my favorite person, but out of respect for the dead, leave him the fuck alone. Okay? Stop mocking him in his death. Ricky, I know this doesn't set into you because your brain works differently than most people. You think every disaster in somebody's life is actually funny. Unless it happens to you. Right, Ricky? But you may get your chance sooner than you think. Maybe a lot sooner than that. Take care first. Take care, people. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's get these numbers up. I'm here. I'm here to talk. I'm here to vlog until I say different. Until then, thanks for coming to my show. We'll catch you again, maybe next time on camera. Whatever the hell I'm going to do. Take care. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Au revoir and all that shit.